Hey guys, coming at you with another Colts video on the Blue Pulse option here. And first thing I wanted to talk about is Matt Gay. So I've noticed that Matt Gay is getting some criticism this year. There was this article in the beginning of October about kind of his struggles. And he has struggled a little bit recently on these deeper kicks. It's really only on 50 yards or more. So, these are deep kicks. They're not going to be as high percentage makes as like 40 yarders, obviously, but he has struggled a little bit with these recently. But I think it's pretty silly to really be even talking about this at this point, just because of how good Matt Gay's been in his career up till now. Now, what I saw was some Colts fans talking about the fact that they had signed Spencer Schrader to the practice squad. So Spencer Schrader has been with the Colts since training camp. He's out of Notre Dame, and he looks to be a pretty good young kicker. And I think it's smart to have a good kicking option in case something who's familiar with the team and would be comfortable in a situation where you needed a backup kicker. A backup quarterback and backup kicker might be the two most important backup spots on an NFL team. Not 100% sure about that, but it sounds right. Because kickers so rarely get injured that if you do have a kicker issue, it's kind of tough to just slide somebody in there and have them be really successful and have a lot of confidence in them. So I'm glad they're keeping Schrader around. But I think I don't feel good about people like criticizing Matt Gay this much. It was not that long ago that Matt Gay, you'll remember, actually set the NFL record for the most 50-yard kicks in a game. I had it up here. Yeah, that's an NFL record against the Ravens here. He made 4 50-plus yard kicks, including the game winner in overtime. So this guy is a great kicker. He's arguably the best kicker in the league. Recent kicks, this is like a very short-term problem, and you see kickers go through these issues with consistency. It's a very it has to be a really very relaxed, fluid motion, and you're under a ton of pressure. Especially once people kind of start questioning your ability. I think you have things getting in their heads a little bit, so it's hard to stay relaxed in those big moments. Especially a 50-yard kick is not an easy kick to make. I know you see guys have really good success with it. Brandon Aubrey actually is one of the best. I think in his career, he's 18 out of 19 from over 50, which is amazing. But that's a small sample size. I mean, we'll see. He's I think this is like his second year, maybe third. But this is just a trend that kickers go through, and I think we really need to slow down on talking about Spencer Schrader. There's nothing to that would make me expect that Spencer Schrader would come in and be able to hit 50-yarders like it's nothing. So I think we should cool down on Matt Gay and just let him find his rhythm. I really think he's one of the best, and he'll get back into the groove. The issue is this here. See, 2022 with the Rams, he was 7 for 9 from 50. The year before, he was 4 for 5. Those are good. And then in 2023, he was 8 for 13. And this is the year that he had this game where he hit 54-yarder, 53-yarder, another 53-yarder, and then another 53-yarder in overtime. So that is an incredible game. Like, it's going to be a long time before I forget about that, how good he was in that. And I just think he finds his rhythm. It's right back to him being, he's great. He's top tier. No matter what the recent stats say. I really think last year he was having issues with some injury problems. I don't think you heard much news about it, but I think he had some kind of groin issue where he just didn't look comfortable from those deeper kicks. And if you start missing shorter ones, that's different. But the 50-yarders are tough, and especially if you maybe tweaked your groin or just anything at all. Holder, I don't know. We had, who knows what could go wrong with those 50-yarders. They're tough to make, so. Just to show you how hard these kicks are to be really consistent at. Justin Tucker is widely kind of known as like maybe the best kicker in the game right now. At least the most successful career, who's active, still kicking. And he actually has the record for the longest field goal in NFL history, which is 66 yards back in 2021. This record is for a single season or overall career, not specifically for a single game. I don't know what that means. I think it's still a record, 66 yards. Even if it's not, that's at least his personal record. So 66 yards is a bomb. Look at Justin Tucker's last. Oh shoot, I don't. Okay, first let's look at this. His last. Okay, look at these last 3 years. 2022, he's 9 for 14. 2023, he's 1 for 5 over 50. 2024 so far, he's 1 for 3. So let's see. He's like 11 for 22 in his last 50-yard kicks. Justin Tucker is 11 for 22, 50%. Contrast that with Matt Gay. He's 8 for 15. If you go back the last couple of years. If you go back before that, he's 7 for 9, so that's 15 out of 22. He's 15 out of 24. So, I'm just saying these are tough kicks. Just give him time to get back into his rhythm. And we don't need to make too much about this whole Spencer Schrader signing to the practice squad. Because if you remember 6 days ago, Spencer Schrader was released from the practice squad. So I just don't think that is really something to put too much interest in, really. I mean, the Colts do this kind of thing. They did the same thing last week. They release him, they sign him again, they release him. I think the Colts just do a lot of this kind of micro transaction type, moving guys around. I don't know exactly why they do it, but I don't know how all that works exactly, but the fact that they signed him to the practice squad is really just something that they just announce as like a routine. They just you're gonna announce any type of roster move gets announced. So this is really not news. This is just something they do a lot. You can see a week ago they released him. Oh, didn't mean to show that. What the heck? The heck? That's why I stopped using Microsoft Edge. Every time it always hits you with these news stories, like crazy stuff. I started using the Brave browser. I like this a lot better. You also got like VPN options up here, which I don't know about that yet, but Brave browser is way better than Microsoft Edge for sure. So, anyways, that's my take on the Matt Gay thing. Just basically just leave him alone. Like, he's doing fine. He's doing great. One other thing, the only other thing I was thinking about this week, I'm still waiting to see the Adam Schefter report about Michael Pittman Jr.'s back injury. I expect that now that Anthony Richardson has been announced the starter, I'm expecting Pittman to use his leverage through his agent to express his thoughts about AR as the starter. And again, this is total speculation, but I don't think Pittman wants to play with AR. So maybe, I think this is what happened last week, was that as soon as AR was announced as a starter, Pittman decides to go through his agent and Schefter to say he's going to be out possibly multiple weeks with a back injury. And then, of course, he ends up playing on Sunday because Flacco started, so he was going to play. Again, total speculation. I don't know, but I'm reading between the lines. And a back injury doesn't go from, a back injury could be a lot of different things, but typically, like, you're not going to play with any type of back injury, I don't think. If it had the potential to be out multiple weeks, like, I'm thinking this guy can, like, barely stand up out of his couch. So how do you go from a potentially multi-week back injury to playing on Sunday and catching the game-winning touchdown pass like you're fine? Maybe, okay, you can say maybe he's got a ton of pain medication. I just don't think that's something they would risk that this early in the season. Like, I've had a very slight back injury in my back muscles before, lower back, and you cannot. It affects the entire way your body moves, so you cannot really perform, I don't think, as a pro athlete with any type of serious back injury. But it just disappeared and he played Sunday. I think that's quarterback related. Now, this may be kind of blown over by now. It may, maybe the winds have calmed down. And maybe Pittman's like, okay, we can give it another shot, see how it looks this week. I tell you what, I guess it all depends on how AR plays this Sunday, if he plays. If they lose to the Dolphins, I think things could start going south fast. If we beat the Dolphins with AR, I guess we keep rolling with it, but I don't know if Jonathan Taylor's going to be back or not. that would definitely maybe play a part in the overall success against Miami. Maybe if you have AR, I think it's just tough to play Anthony Richardson without Jonathan Taylor. We pretty much have to rely on Taylor. And as I've said, I really like Anthony Richardson. I really do. But he's got serious accuracy problems. And he's got to be able to use his legs to be effective right now in the league. And the cycle I keep going through is that I think, okay, Anthony Richardson, exciting quarterback, lots of potential and talent. But we need to win now. We can't just let him maybe develop in a couple years. That's just, you can't ask your team to put everything on hold for this guy to maybe turn into a great quarterback. So he's got to run now. He's got to use his legs to be effective, to open up the passing game, because he's not an accurate passer. So he's got to have the running threat to open up the passing game. But every time he runs, he gets injured. And I'm pretty serious. It's about every single time. I just wanted to go back and show you his injuries. So this was his first game against Jacksonville last year. We lost. He did okay, but he did, right at the end of the game, get knocked out and could not finish the game. It's right at the end of the game, but still, he's knocked out. It takes a big hit, and he's out of the game. Luckily, it was right at the end. We still lost anyways. So next week, Houston. This is the game. You can see Minshew was the high passer of the game because Richardson in the second quarter ended up taking a big hit from the safety. Actually, on a great run he scored, but he takes a big hit and gets a concussion and actually ends up missing the rest of the game and also the next game against Baltimore, where Minshew again starts and we get the win. And then the next game was, I think, Richardson's best that I remember that I've seen. He's only played 8 games. This was one of his best ones, I think, against the Rams. But then very next week against Tennessee, he gets knocked out again. And this is the game that he had the shoulder injury, and he ended up missing basically the rest of the season. Yeah. Let's see, when was it? Yes, second quarter here. 4 minutes, second quarter. Richardson gets knocked out of the game on a run to the right. So this is 1, 2. Okay, so he's played one game, injured one game. Played in a second game, injured in a second game. Doesn't play against Baltimore. He plays Los Angeles. Okay, so he's played 3 games, injured in 2, and then plays a 4th game, injured in that one. So his first year he played 4 games, got injured and knocked out of the game in 3 of them. So let's go to this year. So that's 3 out of 4 games he's been injured. Houston game. not bad. So that's 3 out of 5. Green Bay makes it through that one. 3 out of 6. Chicago. Did he get injured in the Chicago game? Can't remember now. I know he got injured in Pittsburgh. So that's 4, yeah. So I think if I added that up right, he's played in 8 games and he's been injured in 4 of them. Yeah, I think it was only the one against Pittsburgh this year where he got injured. But that's 8 games he's played. Houston, Green Bay, and Chicago was good, so... But the Pittsburgh game he played, he got injured. So 4 out of 8 games he's injured. So you're looking at a 50-50 chance that he's going to get knocked out of the game. So I don't think it looks good with those stats. I know it's only 8 games, but we'll see. I just think he absolutely has to run to be effective, and every time he runs, he's getting knocked out of the game. So I'm actually getting like anxiety when I see him run now, because I just am expecting to get hurt, and then we're gonna have to. It just keeps on. It's just like the cycle continues. So I really don't like criticizing him because it's so young in his career. But I just think once I start seeing patterns like this, patterns continue. So if he's gonna have to break this pattern for me to like really start having more confidence in him. And we'll see against Miami. Hopefully he can hang in there, but the Miami game really is such a big game, I think, because if we can't beat Miami, they've had Tua out. I don't know. Is Tua coming back this week? He's expected to play again, but I don't think he's going to play this week. So that means we'll be playing against Tyler Huntley, I think, is their backup. And the Dolphins got beat 31-12 by the Tennessee Titans. So we just beat the Titans. Tough game. That's a division game, but look at Tennessee actually really kicked their butt, like 31-12. So if we can't beat the Dolphins with AR starting, then we're really going to have some serious talks about starting Flacco, because despite all the injuries and all the difficulties the Colts have had this year, they're still right in the hunt to make the playoffs. And we saw what Flacco did with the Browns last year. This guy is a serious quarterback. He knows what he's doing. It's like we have some serious offensive weapons with Alec Pierce kind of having possibly a breakout season. Pittman, he's always solid. Oh, and then Josh Downs, of course, is coming along. Like, Downs looks incredible this year. Really incredible. And then they even have, I don't know, A.D. Mitchell, I think, hasn't been able to put it together, but I think he's going to be a weapon too. Maybe by the second half of the season, we'll see. I think seems like he's due for a big game, but it just hasn't put it together yet. But we got to beat the Dolphins. That'll put us at 4-3. And we'll go from there. But anyways, I think I'll wrap this one up. Let me know in the comments if there's anything you want me to talk about or discuss. So you guys have a good Tuesday. Bye.